So for those of you who have a noisy background, just be mindful of that. Okay. Yeah, we have over 30 participants, which is good. It's a nice size where we hope to answer some of the questions. So let's get started. Now, this session will go most likely 1.5 hours, depending on the questions. The last time I think we went all the way to 2 hours. So we'll see how it goes. And there are questions online that have been submitted. But I think we'll start off with the very first question here because it will set the scene up on where we are going. So the first question below here is on the outlook for BTC and ETH this October. So I think that's an important question to address because there's a lot of uncertainty on whether Bitcoin is going up or down. And I'll share my view at this point going into BTC. So I don't normally look at BTC too much, but recently I thought I'll look into some details here, and just to see, where is it heading. Yeah, it's definitely for sure there is some uncertainty, which I'll talk about it now. What I have here is I have Bitcoin 2016 on the left and Bitcoin 2020 on the right. So obviously this is where we are currently over here, this arrow here. Question is, will it come back down? Right, so if so, how much, how far is it coming back down? So to try to answer that, we'll use the market structure of 2016 BTC. Now there is a pattern over here that I used to explain recently. If you use a correction back in, for example, this is 2016, it comes down, then there is a massive upside correction going upwards. And if you look at that and draw a box in between, that is, you can call it as a body. So you can draw a box there, and you can do the same thing with the current price action. For example, push it all the way up, and just mute some of you guys here. Yeah, so you can draw that box here in between. Now, that box is quite important because it provides you what is called a support down there, right? You might, there's some level of support here, which is interesting, right? If you look at the price action for 2016, you would see that the price would come back up and, test this support and then push back up to the top side of the box to test that resistance and then come back down. So the latest price action for Bitcoin is slightly different, right? It's slightly different in the way when it pushed from the bottom up, you see that it went all the way to touch the top, right? And then it came back all the way down to touch the bottom side of the box here, which is the support. And now we are basically heading back up again to touch the top side and then correcting itself. So that is why I think from a market structure point of view, we are somewhere around here, right? We are somewhere around here. And this is where the uncertainty presents itself. So if that is the fractal that we are looking at here, right? So we can zoom in and try to see where we are. So this would be the fractal we are looking at, right? So we are somewhere around there. So the question is, where are we, right? So if we zoom in right now around the latest fractal over here, so it presents an interesting question. Where are we? Now, let's use some what if analysis to address this. Okay, so obviously right now on the right side, we have Bitcoin. Our price action is here. On one end, you can look at the price. You might say, okay, it could be here, right? If you look at the pattern here, there's a zigzag that it's doing, right? So you might say that one option is there might be a zigzag going down. So that could happen, right? So that's one option. So if that is the case, then your argument on where Bitcoin is from a market structure is it is over here, right? So that's the first arrow that we have placed here. It's somewhere around there. Okay, so that's one option that you can say. Now, the other option is you would say, Jay, I think the zigzag is done, right? This was the zig and that's the zag. Okay, if you argue that's the zigzag, that it has been completed, then your argument basically says that we are somewhere around here, right? So you look at this, we are somewhere around here pushing up. And those are all possibilities, right? These are the two most logical positions that I'm seeing. And let me just zoom out a little bit just to show you guys that, this is the top side of the box here, which is coinciding with that resistance level. And if I were to zoom out, you would see that it coincides with this level of resistance. And anywhere around here would be a good guess. The good news is from here, it's going to go up, right? So those are the two arrows. The good news is we are going to go up. The bad news is it might have one more push down, right? So that's the bad news. Maybe there's one more drop over here. And how big is the drop going to be? You might ask. Well, let's see. So if there's a drop, we'll probably say that there might be a drop down here, right? And then it's going to come back up, right? So maybe somewhere around 9,500. That would be a good place to estimate the low. The other thing about the 9,500 is the price of the cost of mining Bitcoin anyway, right? So some of my friends mining Bitcoin, they would say that the cost of mining Bitcoin is somewhere between what is it, 8 to 10K. So if you're in the 9,500, that's basically the low for Bitcoin. So yeah, I think that's the option for Bitcoin. If you look at the a much bigger picture from a monthly point of view, there is a pattern there to watch out for. You can see that this is 2016, 2017. It will be 2016. So if you look at 2016 over here, at that structure position around there are two red candles, right? There are two red bars there. It doesn't mean there's always going to be two red bars. I think recently, even the stock to flow model did speak about, the dip there, which is in relation to the two red candles. If you go back into the 2011, there is a one red candle there, right? So there's a one red candle monthly. This is, by the way, this is a monthly chart. There's a one red candle, and that is probably a smaller fractal compared to where we are now. So will there be two red candles over here, touching the top of the resistance here? It may be, right? If that's the case, then like I say, this month it's going to be a dip below into the 9,500 range around there, and then that's it. After that, you'll be going up, right? So that's where we are from a Bitcoin point of view. Let's see if there's any questions around the big picture. Let's see. Is that clear on the big picture? Yeah, just checking in. Then we can go into some of the other coins. So the upside will be, it's coming up soon. The question is it this month? If not this month, we'll know it's definitely next month. Okay. Personally, I think this month may be a slight green candle. That's my view. It's not going to be any big candle. If it's going to be a red candle, it's going to be a small red candle. If it's going to be a green candle, it's going to be a small green candle. I don't see a capitulation, right? I don't see a breakdown, because if Bitcoin goes down into $8,000, I think the miners, there will be a purging of the miners. It means the supply of Bitcoin, new Bitcoin, will be less. So I don't see Bitcoin crashing down like what some people would say. So yeah, so that's on Bitcoin. Let's move on unless you have other questions. So we'll answer from the top down. I'm looking at Link. So yeah, before Link, there I know there's a question on Ethereum, so I'll answer that question anyway because this person here, Nathan, is asking Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll just quickly look at Ethereum. Now Ethereum, this is the latest price action for Ethereum. The top here is all-time high. So we're definitely, Ethereum is heading up to Moonshot 1 right there, right? So those of you who are new, Moonshot 1 is typically close to all-time high. So it's somewhere around there. So if I were to help you compare again, say Ant, right? So this is a typical structure for Moonshot 1. So for example, this would be a Moonshot 1 for Ant on the left, right? If I show you this picture on the left and then Ethereum on the right, you probably know where Ethereum is going to go, right? Now, question is there going to be more downside for Ethereum? If there is another downside, like I said, just like Bitcoin, there will be one more downside, but it's fairly limited. Is it going to make another new low, local low over here? I don't know. It's unlikely, right? So I'm not betting on Ethereum going down into below $300. I don't see that. It could happen, but I don't see that. So I think Ethereum is in a great position to push up. And once it's gone up and into that territory, yeah, you just need to be careful with Ethereum. The tree push does suggest that Ethereum is definitely hitting. So this is how we do the tree push, right? So on the that's one. Here's the second one. So if you do the third box over here, right, it does suggest that Ethereum is hitting all-time high on the next push up. So that's where Ethereum is going. Definitely around 1400 for Moonshot 1. Okay. So I thought we'll just get Ethereum out of the way. Okay, let's move on with Link. So Prab is asking, Link is probably the fastest coin there is right now, but it's because it's moving too fast. I don't like it, but it has a strong upside still. So currently I don't hold a lot of Link. And just to give you guys the overall structure for Link, so this is what's happening to Link since the bear market starts in Jan 2018, right? So you can see it has completed its Moonshot 1. It's on its way to doing Moonshot 2. So Moonshot 2 is way up there. So let me just zoom out. Right, so Moonshot 2 is somewhere here around the $50, $40. So that would be Moonshot 2 for Link. Yeah. So we are looking at somewhere between $40 to $50 for Moonshot 2. And then you better exit your link. Okay, so watch out. Once it hits $50, it will correct significantly, and you don't want to be around when it corrects from Moonshot 2. Trust me on that one. Yeah, so if you want to understand how bad the correction is for Link, yeah, you can compare against Ethereum, and I'll just give you an idea of how bad the Moonshot 2 correction is. Right, so we said Link is currently there. Okay, and let's look at Ethereum. Now we'll go back into the history so that you can compare. This is 2017, right? 2016, 2017 that we are comparing, right? 2016, 17 cycle. So this is the last cycle for Ethereum. Now remember, all these major crypto, their structure is pretty much very similar, and that's why you can compare them, right? You can compare Ethereum structure and Chainlink structure. And what Chainlink is doing is this part of the, so it's gone past Moonshot 1 and this is Moonshot 2, right? So whereas Ethereum's Moonshot 2, it's over there, right? It's over there. So let's look at that, right? If I were to zoom in over here, right? That's essentially where, okay, let me zoom in on Ethereum so you can see. Yeah, so you can see pattern, like, this is 2.1, right? So that's 2.1. Okay, let me just move some of these things around so you can see better. So that's 2.1, which is equivalent to that one, right? And if I were to zoom in, you look something like that for Link, right? So that's what it's going to be. So yeah. So where it's going is we are using the butterfly method, which means that it's going to be a mirror between this. So it went down this much into $7, which is quite substantial. Most likely it's going to push back up into this $50 territory. So note that when it push up, just like what Ethereum did on Moonshot 2, there'll be a serious correction coming back down, right? And this correction here is really significant. Again, you don't want to be around when this happens. And we're talking about potentially, 66%. Now imagine that price is coming back down from $50, right, to 66%. 60%, it's roughly around there, right? So price will go up to $40, $50, most likely it's going to come back down. That's how I'm seeing Link. It's going to push up and then it's going to come back down. So it's going to shake out a lot of the investors. So you will have to watch out on that one. In terms of the micro structures on what's happening, you can see this pattern here is really similar, right, to what is it? Yeah, it's very similar to what we have right now with Chainlink on the left. Yeah, if you go down into 4-hourly and want to see what's exactly happening with Chainlink here, I mean, you can look at the pattern and look at this pattern over here, right? This is about 4th of July 17. Let's go down into, let's go to 4th of July, right, 17. And you would be able to see how close those patterns are. 4th of July, let's go around there, right? So you would be able to compare those two patterns, and you can tell me how close those two structures are, right? What is that? Sorry, not that one, but pattern 2.2 over here, right? So let's zoom in around here. So can you see these two pattern here? Right, that's how it's going. You can see that. Let me even zoom in. Sorry, 27 May. Let me zoom into 1 hourly, right? And then let's go into 27 May. It's actually 27 May. Yeah. So you will be able to see greater clarity on what Link is doing, right? So this is the structure for Link. Right. On the left is Link, on the right is Ethereum. I mean, can someone tell me what do you see Link going to do next? Do you think Link is going to go up, or do you think Link is going to go down? What do you see? Let me help you. Bang, bang, right, bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Right. So what do you think? Link is going up, Link is going down. If you think Link is going up, well, most likely that's the case here, right? So if you look at where Link is over here currently, right? It's doing its correction, coming back up, which is around here, right? So which is this correction here. Can it go down further? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Most likely it's going to push back up, I think. That's my view. And once it's pushed back up, then it's just going to keep on going up. So that's where Link is on the microstructure. That I think it is, yeah, it is about time to go up. So as such, I think it's interesting times. You know, it might suggest that even BTC will have limited downside because the altcoins are going up. So that is why this October it's very interesting. We should start to see some of the altcoins pushing up. Okay, so that's on Link. If you're asking for Moonshot 2 target, like I say, it is around $40 to $50. If you want to take $44, that's a good price to get out. So that's for Link. All right, let's check in on the chat and see where we are. So Link, we've answered that. Let's look at Juliana is asking around BZRX. Now that's a new coin to me. I've not seen BZRX before. Huh. Interesting. Anyone heard of this coin before? BZRX. Is it BZX? BZR? Oh, there you go, BZRX. Yeah. So if it's a new coin, right? So let's look at this. Yeah. So it's a fairly new coin, so we can't forecast if it's a new coin. So if you're asking me about new coins, the general answer is you can't predict new coins because there's no history for you to talk about. The other thing about new coins it's very speculative, right? So unless you know the use case really well, I wouldn't recommend you investing into new coins unless you know it really well. Yeah, so Juliana, do you know BZRX really well? If you don't know, well, I'm not sure if it's a good investment over here. Okay, so we don't look at that. So yeah, you can ask your husband why he likes it, right? I mean, unless he's got any insider information on BZRX, I don't have. So I look at the chart and I say I can't. It's a new coin. It's too speculative, right? That's the problem with new coins, right? It goes up by a certain amount, it crashed down by 89%. So that's why, in our investment, what you call options and recommendation, yeah, we wouldn't get into these coins. So yeah, try to stay away if you can, unless you know the coin really well. So Marty is asking Link and Len. Yeah, so we spoke about Link just now. Len is great, right? It's one of the most important coin we have currently on Len. So let's look at Len. Len is obviously completed his moonshot one. Now, this is where we are on Len. So it's broken its all-time high, right? So everyone can see that. Now, the all-time high is the beginning of typically the bear run. So typically it goes back into, at least in this cycle, around 7th of Jan 2018. So if you get that, normally most of the coins would go down from there, right? And then the bull cycle starts and then it comes back all the way up. So that's where Len is. Len is moonshot one. Now, the last the last month I've been calling this as a moonshot one. But right now I'm looking at this pattern here. Most likely that is the moonshot one. Right now, if that's the case, then Len presents itself as a really good buy here. Potentially, we are looking up at moonshot two of over what $23, $22. So that's just a ridiculous amount of rotation there. So yeah, so that's where Len is going. Len is definitely going up a lot much more higher in terms of moonshot 3. If this is correct, we are looking at a moonshot 3 to be over in the triple digit for Len. Now, Len obviously is one of the strongest coin in DeFi, so I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up into triple digit. And then you crash back down, right? So watch out for Len. It's one of the strongest coin we have currently. So did the price change from 10 to 23? Yes, I'll talk more about it, Cheyenne, next couple of days in the members group around how we're going to trade this. So it presents an interesting option, a much better option. So, but for those of you out there, yeah, if you just want to exit at about $10, that itself is it's a great exit point. Even $10 is pretty amazing. So Len is definitely a very strong buy in my opinion. But hey, you guys need to make your own decision. I'm just providing what I'm seeing over here, and let's move on. Okay. Let's see. RSR is new, relatively new. Yeah. So let's see. Whoops. Did I just stop sharing? Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, so there you go. RSR, let me just check back on the chat. It looks like a strong coin. If you want to hold it, that's great. I don't hold any RSR. It has corrected itself by over, what is it, 60% now. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna go back up again. So this might be a good place for me to use it as my moonshot one if you want to. So yeah, it looks like it's got plenty of upside. But I can't project it at this point. So come back in the next few months and then you'll see. So that's my position with RXR. Orchid is, I think it's probably similar. Yeah, so when you see this kind of pattern, it's very hard to project. Besides, it doesn't go back into 2018. So yeah. All right, so that's on RSI and Orchid. Now, if you look at ZIL, that's the next question on ZIL. ZIL is it's a solid coin. ZIL is in an interesting position. I have always thought ZIL will be slow, but this pattern reminds me of OMG's pattern, right? So if ZIL is doing OMG, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. right? Let's bring OMG up, right? So I've got OMG right here. So if you look at ZIL now, OMG has a pattern. We call it the what is that? The call pattern over here, somewhere in when is this? Somewhere in May, maybe. Let's go into June. Yeah, so OMG has got this call pattern that we use, and being familiar with this pattern, and obviously, you know, I'll show you, right? So this is ground zero. That's ground zero. Okay, so that's ground zero. Ground zero is where things start to move up, right? Ground zero. Let's just put this as a white. So yeah, so you can see that's ground zero, and ground zero for ZIL is would be there, right? Right. So ground zero will be there, and then it pushed up, right, and did this pattern. So you can see that this is the pattern I'm referring to from ground zero, and if that's what it is doing, right? So if that's the pattern it's doing, then I don't know. Is it close enough for you? Look at this pattern over here. I don't know. What do you guys see? Yeah. Do you see this part here? Right. This part here is right in the middle, isn't it? I mean, it's somewhere around there, right? And then it goes up and then crash down and double dip, right? Which is where it is here. So if you like, oops, sorry, Syed, you got a feedback there. I think you have multiple devices running. So okay, so that's where it is. I hope you guys see ZIL actually presents an interesting option now, where if this is where it is, right? I suspect that there is probably one more dip. You see, there is another dip coming up soon. If that's the case here, there's probably another dip coming up. If there's a dip you see in ZIL, those of you who has money, you might want to consider buying in with ZIL, because if it does OMG, right, it's just going to explode up. ZIL might be exploding up into OMG. Does it make sense? Hopefully you guys can see it. Any questions on ZIL? ZIL seems to be presenting itself as a good position. ZIL explain gonna make me OMG. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, those of you who are looking at OMG, sorry, not OMG, ZIL. Yeah, the same thing with OMG. OMG is looking to do the same thing because that's part of the core fractal. Since we are over here, I'll just show you OMG, right? Where's OMG? Let's go all the way back to here, right? So if you look at OMG's pattern, that's what this is, right? So it has come up, right? So if you draw, you know, let me go back down, go back up into the daily, and you would be able to see this much better, right? So it doesn't look as obvious as ZIL, but you know yeah. So it has definitely come back down. So this would be, you know, the first layer, the second layer, and the third layer. So very similarly, you know, I suspect OMG may have another spike down, just like ZIL, another spike down. So whichever you're looking at, OMG or ZIL, I would tend to prefer ZIL, I think. Let me just look at if you a view on the larger picture for ZIL. Just because ZIL, let me see, let me zoom out a little bit on OMG. Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit more. So you can see that is the all-time high for ZIL. And OMG has a little bit of, it's a little bit ahead, right? You can see ZIL is slightly below, OMG is slightly above. OMG is definitely heading up here to around the $20 range, whereas ZIL, man, ZIL can have a pretty amazing run up there. Now, note that the ZIL is also cheaper. It's only about 2 cents now compared to OMG's $4. So ZIL might be able to move faster, right? If ZIL is going up to 15 cents around there, what's the ROI? How 15 cents? Yeah, that's like 10x, isn't it? Right? If it goes up to about 18 cents around there, that's 10x. But if OMG is going to $20, right, it's only about 5x from here. So you can see the difference between the two. So ZIL might have a better option compared to OMG. Now both will still, burst up most likely, but from a performance point of view, ZIL might present a bigger option, a better option. Make sense? Hopefully you guys get that. All right, let's move on. So we spoke about BTC, so hopefully you guys got it. If not, watch back the recording. We addressed BTC early on. Yeah, I want to move on. Let's see, Holochain. Yeah, Holochain. I don't think we, sorry, not Holo, Hot, Holo, right? That's what it is. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, Hot is not looking too well. Holo, let's look at Coin Paprika. Yeah, it doesn't look too well. The structure is not fantastic, so I wouldn't touch Holo or Hot. Okay, we just keep it there. Moving forward. Let's see what else. Link after 50. Yeah, Dennis, Link after 50 should do at least a 30%. I'm looking at, I don't know, maybe another 60% correction for Link once it's reached $50. We'll see. At least that's my view. Let's see. All right, Ragani. Yeah, let's look at Nano again. Yeah, I haven't seen Nano for a while. It's still pretty slow, isn't it? It's still down there. It needs to break above this line. Is it looking exciting? No, not really. Not really. I would love to give you the good news, but if this is the if this is a slingshot, right? And this is why, it's important to use the structure to guide us, right? It might do 1, 2, maybe it does 3 around here. So it's not really exciting. I mean, it can go up. I mean, from a return, it's not bad. It might do a 10x here. But I don't, yeah. But anyway, it looks like it's okay. It might do a 10x. Yeah, but then the moonshot 3 above might not be as interesting, but we'll see. Yeah, can hold on to it if you want, but I wouldn't be betting big on it. And that's on Nano. All right, let's move on and see. Okay. You may have addressed this in the past. What is the take coins long term? So, what's your take on coins holding for the long term? If you are speaking about like holding on, hodling forever, we don't do that. you know, because every end of the bull cycle, it will correct by at least 80%. So I don't know why you would be holding any crypto at the end of the bull run. So again, for those of you who have not seen the history of, I'm just using Bitcoin as an example, right? In the first, what is it? In the first halving, look at this. There's a correction of 92%, right? That's the first halving. In the second halving, there is, right, it's not the second halving, but in the second cycle, right, there is an 86% correction. And in this third halving, the latest third cycle, right, we have 84%. I guess the good news is the correction is reducing from 92 to 86 to 84. Well, what do you think the next cycle's correction is going to be? What do you think? Would 80% be reasonable? Yeah, if you think 80% is reasonable, then your question is, why do you want to hold Bitcoin or any other coins that's going to correct itself by 80%? It just doesn't make sense. Even if you say, Jay, I'm staking my coin, well, even your staking will not get you your 80% drop is just too much. So I don't see any point in holding anything in the long run. So hopefully that clears up the position. Okay, let's have a look at other stuff. Let's see, Digibyte. Okay, Digibyte and ICX. Those are really strong coins we are holding as well. Digibyte. So let's dive into Digibyte. I'm curious to see what Digibyte is doing as well. Let's put Digibyte on the right. So Digibyte has a history. So that's the nice thing. That's the nice thing about Digibyte is it has a history for us to refer to. So I'm just going to go back into the history. So this is where we are now. On the right hand side, we've got Digibyte latest price action. On the left hand side, I'm just going to pull out the history. So let's go down into, say, 2 hourly and go back into 2017, right? So you can go back into 2017 and you guys can do this on your own. I'm not, whatever we do here, it's important to base it on facts, data, and that's what the market structure is doing. And because the past sort of repeats, right? Doesn't repeat, it rhymes, isn't it? So if you look at the history, this is Digibyte 2017, around there. And if you're like me, you study it and you say, I know where the slingshot is. By the way, this is the slingshot. This is the what is this? This is the 2020 slingshot, right? And on the left is the 2017 slingshot. So again, you guys can do this and see whether it repeats. For many months, I've spoken about this correction here, but I did not anticipate this correction to be that big. So this correction from the top coming down, this was expected. Now, how do I know this was expected? Well, you can look at the slingshot, right? So look at this slingshot over here, and the classic attributes for slingshot is the zigzag down, right? So that's the zigzag down that I knew I saw for slingshot, right? And what happens after that? So let's maybe give it a yellow color so we can see it better, right? After that, you can see that Digibyte actually came break up. It broke the high of the slingshot, and what happens? It came back down, right? That's exactly what it did. After the slingshot, it broke up and then it came back down. Where did it come back down? To this level, right? To where? To this level. So you see that it's happening right now. So that is why I've got my arrows pointing here. So we are somewhere around here, right? Now it's probably too noisy for me to try to tell you exactly where it is, but I can tell you there's a couple of it's doing its higher low at this point. Are we exactly here? You might argue, yeah, we could actually do that, right? I mean, if you really zoom in, you would see that there is a small little triangle. There's a bigger one over here, which is what I think it's happening here, right? That's the one, and then the push up came back down. So where are we going from here? Well, most likely there is going to be some minor correction, and then it's just going to push up. So Digibyte is definitely pushing up in the longer term. Where is it going? Well, you can have a look and see it's definitely going up to do its moonshot one up there, right? So that's the moonshot one for 2017 on the left, and you can see where Digibyte's moonshot one is if I zoom out. So here you go. Here is the where Digibyte is going. Whoops. Yeah, it's kind of messy. So let me take away some of the arrows here. Yeah, so slingshot is there. And those are some of the price action we drew. So you can see that Digibyte is definitely pushing up to do its moonshot one up there. Yeah, so we have about what 25 cents as a moonshot one for Digibyte. So it's really exciting to see how Digibyte would turn out. Plenty of upside as usual. It is very strong. It's a very strong coin. So that's on Digibyte. So Prab is asking for ICX. ICX is a very strong coin as well, and we can compare against Ant. Let's see. Let's pick. Let's pick this one. ICX is, what is it? The biggest project in Korea, right? So let's go down into daily, zoom out. You guys would be able to see where it is, right? I mean, I don't need to tell you guys where icon is going. If I just put something like this, yeah. Do you guys want to estimate or project what icon is doing? I just draw here, right? Yeah, this yellow line, right? It's fairly obvious. Once after the yellow line is done, boom, you push up, right? Yeah, we hope to see that explosion for icon, which I think it will, but we'll see, right? So most likely icon, we have a projection up to about $4.55 easily, maybe even more. So we'll see, right? So it should be interesting times for icon. If you look at Ethereum just now, I don't think I've taken away Ethereum. It's very similar to Ethereum. ICX is slingshot going to moonshot one. Yeah, basically it's heading to moonshot one. That's right, Prep. That's where it is going. Okay. Let's see. RSR, we spoke about this. Let's see. Yeah, Prab is asking, are we seeing a big green bar? I don't think we are seeing big green bar this month, not necessary. Yeah, like I say, it's gonna be a small bar this month. Again, I could be wrong, but that's my expectation. Let's look at the others. Zcash, we have not looked at. I've not looked at Zcash for a long time. That is because it's not as interesting. It looks like it's coming back alive, but remember, it needs to cross that boundary to make it interesting. Unless you are the top 5 coins. So Zcash is still not interesting for me right now. It's kind of slow, but yeah, it could head up for sure, but not that interested at this point. Okay, let's see. Zcash, Zcoin, Kin. Not sure about Kin. What is Kin? Kin is definitely new. It's almost dead, isn't it? So don't touch it. That's all I'll say. Okay. Do you accept USDT membership? So for membership, we only do cards. Yeah. But again, if you want other arrangement, let me know. Just drop me an email or drop me a contact. I'll talk about it later on. DHT, yeah. So hang in there. Let's see. Kuramas, if Neo hits Moonshot 1, all right. So talk about gas, right? Gas and Neo. So Neo is obviously one of my key holding, um, and Neo is in an interesting position now. It has the history of really high velocity. So those of you who don't know about Neo, you might want to study the history a little bit, where you can look at the price action, right? And see, this is where I think we are, Neo. This is how low it is, right, compared to 2016, 2017. And once it gets moving, yeah, it's like XRP, right? So the question is, how far will the gas go? Well, let's look at gas then, right? So here's the gas. One thing for sure, the gas is tightly correlated to, yeah, it's tightly correlated to the coin itself. Now, mind you, the orange color is the gas price. Now, it went up to gas price, right? $85, right? $85 for gas the last time. Now, this time around, will it go up beyond 85? For sure, right? The gas will go up above $85, I think. But we'll see. So that is why just, if you hold NEO, and most of the exchanges would give you gas anyway, and those gas can be really valuable. So that's why NEO, not only it has very strong velocity, but the gas itself can be pretty crazy. So watch out. It could go above $100 for the gas. Okay, so keep those gases for sure. Let's see. Other questions? Okay. By the way, those of you who wants to put in the question, there's a chat function. I'm just reading through and see what else to pick up. Okay, so IOST and Golem. All right, IOST. Haven't seen IOST for a while now. Yeah, it still hasn't broken up that level. There are multiple resistance lines here that it needs to break up. So it's not as exciting, IOST. The way the market structure works, just to give you an example, right? We basically like coins that are well set up, that that gives basically, if the coin is up there, it has to break what we call this mountain, right? It has to break that mountain for it to be interesting. So if it's down there still, it means that most likely there isn't a lot of investors, unless it's a major coin, like Ethereum or XRP. Those are major coins that it doesn't matter, they will move eventually. But IOST is not. So if it wants to be a solid coin, it's got to be up there already. But obviously, it's not. Right. So again, just to give you an example, compared to ZIL, right? ZIL has come up and touched this. So for me, even ZIL is much more interesting. And not only that, you see how these coins are pushing out. Look at this push up over here. So you want coins that are very strong in its correction, you know, from ground zero. It should be ground zero. And the correction from IOST is not as exciting over here. You know, you want it to see it pushing up and breaking that mountain, right? So we call that a mountaintop, right? And if it's able to do that, it means it's a very strong coin. So it means there's a lot of money pushing in, right? So that's how it is. Okay, so IOST not as interesting from a market structure point of view. Now we'll look at Golem, and then there's VeChain and ADA coming in. So let's look at Golem. Yeah, Golem at least has broken up this triple top or mountain, right? So at least it's broken up. So Golem is more exciting than IOST, at least from my point of view. So, what is it that most likely that it may have? Yeah, if we use that as the slingshot, that would be interesting. So Golem might turn out to be pretty good, right? So, so it can be pretty exciting. Okay, yeah, Golem will turn up to be a pretty good slingshot, I think. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that might be around there. So slingshot might be just, you will probably hit the all-time high just above, and then it'll come back down. So that should be interesting. So Golem at 10 cents going up into $1.20, $1.30, most likely around there, right? So a safe exit would be, say, about $1, right? $1.20. So that's about 10x. So Golem seem to be, fairly good in that regards. So yeah, Golem seem to be better than IOST. Okay. What's the projected end on the bull run 2021? Has it started? Yeah, it has started. So if you missed the discussion on Bitcoin, let's see if we can get back in. Yeah. So I was looking, you know, at this structure here. Let's go back into addressing the time, right? So I have spoken about Bitcoin, and yeah, and what I said is we are roughly around here, right? Earlier I said we are roughly around here, and if you would try to estimate, right, if we are starting to go up from here, the first green candle, by the way, this is a monthly candle. If you measure all the way to the peak, it's about 15 bars, right? About 15 months, which is always what I've anticipated, right? The end of the year, next year will be the end of the bull run, right? So if the next bar that we see is a small green bar, right? Or it doesn't matter, even if it's a small red bar, we are still about 15 months away to the end of the bull cycle. So that's the other thing for you to watch out, and this is not new. A lot of some of the smart analysts have shown this, that every time the end of the bull run seems to coincide with the end of the year. So the first halving, it ended close to end of the year. You can see here, the second halving ended close to 2018, which is end of the year of 2017. And the same over here for 2020-21. The halving, I mean the end of the bull run should be end of next year. So by December next year, it should be done. So that's always the timing. Like even this one is saying there's about 15, yeah, it's about 15 bars here, 15 months. Okay. So after that, there'll be at least 80% correction. So make sure you get out by end of next year. Okay, let's move on with VeChain. All right, VeChain and ADA. VeChain, very strong coins. It's definitely the one on our list. While I don't hold them, doesn't mean it's no good. There's just too many good coins, right? So the problem with VeChain is this location, right? So let me just yeah. Sorry, let me just do something here. Just need to. Okay. All right. All right. So that's where we are for VeChain at this point. If I think relying back on my projection, VeChain, right? So VeChain, I'm looking at about 16 cents for Moonshot One. It hasn't changed. So that's still the Moonshot One target. This is a fairly conservative. It's a nice structure. It's a fairly clean structure. So I would expect somewhere around 16 cents to be the Moonshot One. So yeah, so around there. Yeah, so it has a strong Moonshot 2 and 3 as well. I think Moonshot 3, I have it somewhere around $10, but we'll see how far it goes in next year. So right now, if you're just worried about Moonshot 1, it's about 16 cents for VeChain. Strong coin, strong use case, so you can't fault it. So that's on VeChain. The other coin will be ADA. ADA also is a top coin. It's the second biggest smart contract coin, right after Ethereum. So ADA is very strong. You can see that it has clearly broken the triple top here, or the mountain top, and it's bouncing back up, right? So ADA is strong. Again, like I say, fundamentally it's solid. You come up here to about $1, so I have projection of ADA up to, there you go. I have a safe exit of $1, and for those of you who wants to get in, for example, what's the price now for ADA? I think it's just shy of 10 cents or something like that. Let's see, where's ADA? Okay, ADA is down, so it's just shy of 10 cents. So it's a great time to get in for those of you who likes ADA. Because it has 10x, that's what I'm looking at for Moonshot One. Okay, so that's ADA. Let's see. Yeah, so bull run 15 months, 16 months, 14 months, around there. XinFin, yeah, XinFin, again, great coin. XinFin, let's look at XinFin. Right, so XDC. XinFin is, I have 2.5 cents as the target, around there, 2.5 up there. So it's still, it's actually on its low. My view is XinFin has reached its low. For those of you who hold XinFin, I call it there's a fractal. We call it the call fractal. And the way the call fractal works is, let me see if I've got this over here. I think I have this over here. So the call fractal for XinFin is quite simple. It would dip down, and there's like a double dip, push back up and down. So once you see a zigzag form, and then you draw a line at the low of the zigzag, when the price comes back down and hit this line here, it's pretty much the low, right? So I'm seeing on July as well that there's a big zigzag here, and then when price hits below, that's pretty much it, and then it goes up. So if you apply that into the current fractal, right? I mean, basically that's what it is. So I'm looking at this as the zigzag, right? And then you draw the line across. Remember, that's the call fractal. So anywhere around here, that's the low, in my opinion. I don't think it's breaking anywhere down there, right? So it's coming back up. So that is why you see a lot of coins is reaching its low. And if that's the case, then Bitcoin should not fall off the cliff too much. It might go down, but it won't go down a lot. So, but anyway, all the altcoins are most likely be pushing up from the low here. But Zinfin might hang around there for a while, because if you look at how it does on the low, it loves to hang around there a little bit, right? Whenever it corrects itself, it loves to hang around there a little bit. So do we expect it to hang around there by another couple of weeks, 2 weeks? Sure, right? But mind you, after that, this is how this is how Zinfin reacts, right? It just explodes up, right? That's how it goes, right? And then this one, the same thing. I mean, it's not an explosion, but that's how it push up. So I would expect it to push up as well to 2.5 cents, right? So that's the Moonshot 1 target. So that's what I'm seeing. It's pushing up to 2.5 cents. So that's for Zinfin. It's looking good. The low should be in. I'm not overly concerned with Zinfin. Okay, just checking in. Let's see. Right. So Dogecoin. Do we really want to cover Dogecoin? We can look at it. Is it that good? Do you guys hold Dogecoin? And what's Dogecoin's use case these days? Now you can see it did break. It did break this one. But it did come back down significantly as well. It doesn't look like a great pattern in my opinion. So yeah, I wouldn't hold any of these coins. So moving on to Theta. Theta is one of the coins that's doing Moonshot 2. There are only a couple of coins doing Moonshot 2. So watch out on Theta. Theta has done well already. It's got a lot of upside to go to. The all-time high for Theta was here. All right, so back in that. So it's broken its Moonshot 1, come back down Moonpad 1. So right now it's doing its Moonshot 2. So that's what Theta is doing. Let's have a look at the other coins. So yeah, let's have a look. Now, if you want to know what Theta will be doing, again, your question is, gee, what do you think? How does Moonshot 2 looks like, right? So, well, which other coins has done Moonshot 2, right? You can look at Chainlink, for example. Chainlink has already started its Moonshot 2 and has went past, right? So, so one of the things that we are expecting Chainlink to do is what we call pattern 2.1. Pattern 2 means Moonshot 2.1 is the first pattern, major pattern you'll do, right? Pattern 2.2 is Moonshot 2, the second major pattern you'll do. And after that, Chainlink will be pushing up to complete this Moonshot 2. Now, if you apply that same concept, what we are saying is, I would expect Theta to do its pattern 2.1, which might be happening now potentially, but after that you push up as well, right? So Theta, let's see, Theta in Moonshot 2. Let's look at Theta. Theta Moonshot 2 is somewhere, this end. Sorry, where's Theta? Did I miss Theta? Okay, here's Theta. Theta Moonshot 2, I have about $1.60 to $2.80. I think it's closer to $2.80 in my opinion, because it's a really strong coin. So if you want to be safe, get out at $2, for example, right? That would be my that's my view over here. So that's Theta. Plenty of upside, so just hang in there with your Theta. Okay. Let's look at what else. ZRX. Okay. Hang in there. Let me backtrack. MFT by Sayed. Let's see. MFT. MFT. Let's see. Is it a good coin? Yeah. Sayed, you better get into good coins, man. You're getting into all these coins that doesn't look good. I mean, one thing is it broke this one. It doesn't have, it doesn't go back into 2018 January, so it doesn't have the full bear cycle for me to look at. And if we have that, it'll be, I think this position here won't be as interesting. So, yeah, I wouldn't touch MFT. Okay. Let's see what else. ZRX. ZRX strong coin. Okay, so if you guys are holding ZRX, it's in a similar position with whoop, did I stop sharing? Okay, sorry guys. What is it? Okay. ZRX, similar position with KNC, DigiByte, so it's in a good position. Yeah, so if you look at the three push, it could go up over here to all-time high. So let's look at my projection for ZRX over here. Yeah, so I have about $4, I think. Yeah, so moonshot one there. Sorry, slingshot, and then moonshot one over here. It's about $4, so that's really nice. What is that? About 8x from where we are. Yeah, ZRX is a strong DeFi coin, so yeah, it should be doing well. So yeah, plenty of upside for those of you who hold ZRX. So that's good. Okay, let's check in with other coins. Well, let's see. Yeah, my chat went missing. Wonder where the chat went. Control H, it says. No, not this one. Alt H. All right, Alt H. Alt H. According to that. Okay, there you go. Tezos. All right, so I've got Kyber, I've got Tezos. Let's see, ENT. All right, let's cover those three. Let's deal with Tezos first. Tezos is a strong coin, but unfortunately, the Moonshot one is not as exciting from a return point of view. It's definitely going to do Moonshot one, but Moonshot two is what I'm excited about. So there you go. Here's Tezos currently. Let's see. Yeah. So, you know, if I go back into Ant, you'll be able to see the pattern, right? But let's go into this one. So Tezos, I have the slingshot is here. The three push is giving it about $11 safe exit. So $11, moonshot one around there. Yeah, that would be a good exit point. What is Tezos price at this moment? Let's see. Yeah, what's Tezos price at this moment? My Tezos went missing. There you go. Tezos is about 220. So 220 going to 11. What 5x? Is that right? Yeah, that's about 5x. So 5x is great. I mean, it's good, but not fantastic. You know, like ADA would have a much higher upside. It might do it fairly quickly though. So I know that Tezos should be fairly fast. But the upside is pretty crazy. So it's potentially a 1K upside from here. So do watch out on Moonshot 2 and 3 for Tezos. Once it gets going, yeah, it will be fairly scary. So that's Tezos, Kyber, if you want, KNC. I still have, what is it, KNC? I still have about, I think $5. Yeah. So KNC, I'm still holding it. I still have a good amount of KNC. It's in a similar position with what is that, VeChain? Yeah, it's similar position. So the all-time high is there, and Kyber would be interesting position where I'm not exactly sure how far the Moonshot one is, but you know, that's one coin that recently yeah, it's not as clear for me, but most likely I'm gonna get out around the all-time high. I know it's definitely going there and move into another coin that is a clearer forecast to me. Kyber at this point, it could actually go up pretty high, you know, into what you call into double-digit range. It's for sure, but Moonshot one, I'm not sure it's going up to double-digit range. Most likely it will. So I want to see more price action as we go along. So yeah, if you want to save exit, it'll be about, you know, $6. So for me, it's just a wait and see for KNC. Okay, so that's my view. Let's see. Okay, let's see, what is it that we say? It's gonna look at CRX. We did that. Tezos, ENT, yeah. ENT, that is Dcas coin, is that right? ENT, or is that not? Hey Pra, what's ENT? Which one is this? Is that enter coin? Yeah, please clarify. Okay, let me know. Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash is tied into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is, yeah, see, it's still down there. It's not as exciting. It's got a lot of hurdles it needs to clear. But it'll be interesting to see how far Bitcoin Cash goes. So, not holding it, not too exciting. That's Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, that's ENT, perhaps. So if you're talking about, sorry, ETN, sorry, not ENT. Electroneum would be ETN, not ENT. Electroneum has been there for a long time. Now, the upside looks amazing. So again, I've gone out from ETN. I'm sure it'll come back up, but at this point, it's not as exciting. So I've already moved out many months ago from ETN. Okay, so but if you want to hold it for a longer run, Moonshot 1, 2, and 3, it could be pretty good, right? So if this is Moonshot, if this is a slingshot, which, you know, we can use this, right? So if this is a slingshot, you would be able to see where it's going, right? So most likely it's going up into around there, right? So let's just say it hits around there. So that might be its Moonshot 1 projection. So if that's the Moonshot 1 projection, you might say that ETN's, what you call, if that's Moonshot 1, right? So ETN might have, yeah, a projection of upside around, yeah, maybe around $4 or $5 around there. All right. So from where we are, which is not even 1 cent, it's half a cent. Like $4 or $5 would be fairly substantial, right, for ETN. Well, what does the math says? Let's see. Yeah, I'm just pulling out my calculator. Where's my calculator? Oh man. All right, so there you go. If it goes up to $5, and right now it's about what? 0.005 cents, right? That's 1,000x right there for ETN. So while the Moonshot one doesn't look great, but the Moonshot 2 and 3, that can be pretty big. So just watch out for ETF in the longer run. So that's on it. Hey, Leslie, XRP, any XRP fan here? We'll look at that for sure. And then ZAP. All right, so XRP and ZAP. Do I have XRP around here? I don't have XRP around here. Let's look at XRP. XRP is the one that I'm probably most familiar with in terms of the cycles. So that's what's going to happen. XRP, I have no issue with it being slow. If you look at XRP, the way it's doing now, it's very similar to OMG. So if we bring back OMG and show you the pattern there, so I've done this quite a lot of time now. So that's OMG right there. What is that, 7 May? So if I go down to about 2 hours and go to 7 May, right? Okay, 7 May, come on, 7 May, around there, you would be able to see the pattern, OMG's burst out pattern is very similar to ZIL, is very similar to XRP, right? So that's what's going to be, I'm going to be referring to XRP. If you look at this pattern over here, do you guys see similar patterns here? Okay. So what I'm saying is, in fact, that peak, sometimes you got to be more familiar with the price, but the actual peak here is this one. So let me just give you a flag here. So that would be the actual peak, right? So that's how you might want to look at it. And typically, this little pattern here, the spiking up, right, and that one in the front is this one over here, right? So this pattern here is actually that one. So sometimes it's very small, sometimes it's big, but don't get fooled by this initial spike here. That one, it's fairly small over here. So sometimes it can be big, sometimes it's small. But essentially from the peak, what is it? It came back down, this way. So if that's the lowest point, which is what OMG has suggested, it will come back up, and which is what is happening now. So I would suspect that this little pattern here that we are working on it's around there, OMG, right? So just like ZIL is probably a little bit ahead. ZIL is up there, so ZIL might look more interesting compared to XRP. Yeah. So so XRP is there. The next thing XRP will do, just like what is it? ZIL. ZIL has done its slingshot, but XRP hasn't done its slingshot yet. So if you zoom out and look at what XRP needs to do, XRP needs to break the mountain, right? So what is this? That's the text, and this is the mountain, right? So the Triple Crown mountain over here, it needs to break that, and that would constitute the slingshot over here. So we would expect the slingshot to be done somewhere this month, sometime this month. So that's what I'm looking at. So 1 month to go up, 1 month to come back down to do its moon pad one, and then by Christmas, in December, we should be done with the moonshot one, right? So that's what I'm expecting XRP to do. So in general, all the coins should complete moonshot one, and that would include BTC, Ethereum and all other coins roughly to complete Moonshot 1 by Christmas. Some coins will just be slightly delayed into January, and that's fine. Some coins may be earlier in November, but this is all going to happen. So XRP will be what, $3.30 at least by Christmas, around there. At least that's my projection over here. Okay, so once after that, obviously there is a Moonshot 2 entry, which is up there. Potentially XRP is hitting somewhere between $50 to $100 in Moonshot 3. So yeah, just watch out on that. XRP will move very quickly as usual, but it doesn't need to move right now. So that's on XRP. ZAP, yeah, ZAP has a really high rotation. So ZAP has came up very strongly. Quite a few members like it, and I like the structure. It's got this burst rate as well. So if you look at the structure here, it's got this, it just burst up and burst up. So it's like OMG, like XRP, like ZIL kind of performance. And I think the other thing about ZAP, I think I have found its core fractal. Let's look at ZAP over here. So that's ZAP. I'm calling this Moonshot 1. It's a little bit low, but it's worth calling it a Moonshot 1. Oh, I don't have the core fractal, but I think the core fractal will be very similar to this, right? So you can actually draw. I think we did that with what's the coin just now? Zinfin, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, and then that's it, right? That's the low. So right now, one level, second level. Yeah, that's it. It's hitting its low, right? And well, where is it going? Well, if the Moonshot 1, sorry, if if that's the Moonshot 1, which is what I believe so, right? Then the Moonshot 2 would be heading up to. I should put that in Moonshot 2, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So that will be it. I think that's. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is it slightly bigger? Let me just double check. Yeah, it's probably slightly bigger. $2.80. Now, that's a lot of rotation there, right? So if you do the math, what is it? What if you take $2.70 divided by the price now? What is that? 0.06 cents. I'll do the math, guys. We're talking about 45x here, right? That's 45x. I mean, that's just ridiculous for Moonshot 2. Something to think about. Now, it's not an easy coin to get in, right? So, but yeah, watch out on ZAP. I just bought a small bag recently, just because the rotation can be big. So for example, if you just throw in like $500, right? I mean, it could do the math, right? Multiply by 40x, something like that. Okay, so that's on ZAP. It's pretty crazy. Let's move on and look at other coins. ZIL, Ted is asking ZIL, what's the entry price? ZIL, the entry price, I think we are looking for a correction. Not much, right? It's down to about 17 handle, 0.017 or 168 around there. So yeah, ZIL is looking great, but I do expect another major correction down to maybe 1.6 cents, 1.7 cents around there. So yeah, that's something to watch out for. Okay, Jesse is asking for SNX. Synthetics, relatively strong coin, DeFi coin. The problem is we don't have data going back into January 2018. So, but it does look like a very strong coin, right? It does look like it. The way you want to be safe, let's just say if you say, hey Jay, can you just give me a conservative forecast? All right, I can do that, right? So if we were to play that out, that this would be the moonshot one, it's not a bad idea to take that as a moonshot one, though we can't actually validate that. But if you use the concept of tree push, you might say, all right, that's one. Okay, what else? That's one. That's two, right? And then the third push would be somewhere around here, right? So you might say about $50 would be a good exit point. And I don't know where this is because we don't have any reference behind. But if you say what's a good exit point, I would say about $50, right? So that's about what 10x from here. So that's really good. Again, synthetics, DeFi, strong coin, definitely has potential going up. There are a lot of coins that can do 10x. Like I say, you don't necessarily need to get into this one, but if you already have, you like what synthetic does, then hold on to $50. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So that's SNX, Anchor, ANKR. Haven't seen Anchor for a long time now. Again, doesn't have enough data going back into 2018. So yeah, I can't really project too much on this one. All right. Let's see. Okay, good. We have answered most of the questions in the chat group. Just moving on into YouTube and see what else. So I think we have covered most of the coins here. Golem, IRSD, PanDX, not too interesting. Holo, MFT, we've spoken about that. Dragon Chain, okay. So Dragon Chain, we haven't spoken about that. Haven't spoken about that. Sia Coins, Elastos. Yeah, DRGN should be interesting for me to look at Dragon Chain. I think it's one of Tika's pick as well. It hasn't done much recently, I think. So it's still going down. It's very similar to ETN position. So for those of you who just missed it, right? So if you look at Electroneum, let's pick Electroneum back up. So yeah, so if I were to reframe this, do you guys see how similar those two are, Dragon Chain and Electroneum? Right. I'm sure they will do well in the future, but right now, it's just not good enough for me. It has to be up there. So that's on Dragon Chain. And let's look at SIA. SIA Coins is much better. Right? SIA's got a nice use case as well. Yeah, see, at least SIA, right? SIA has broken that one, not bad. It's coming back up, which is okay. Again, I don't hold SIA at this point. It is better, but still not good enough compared to Dragon Chain. Dragon Chain really has to come back up. So I still don't hold both of these coins. There are better coins out there. So SIA, I don't think I've done the projection for SIA at this point. But let's just try it out, right? So if that's roughly the first slingshot, that would be the second one. And the third one would be somewhere around there, right? So that might be the moonshot one. So the moonshot one would be somewhere around there, right, which is about 30 cents maybe. So for SIA coins, now 30 cents is pretty good, isn't it? For where SIA is starting now. What is that? 0.003 cents almost, so to 30 cents. That's pretty substantial. It's a lot of money there. Sorry, not 30 cents, 3 cents, right? 3 cents. So that's about 10x from here for CR coin. Yeah. So, but watch out on its moonshot 2 and 3 for CR coins. So if you like it, again, hold it pretty good in the longer term. So that's for CR coins. Go back into chat and see how long have you been in crypto. I've only been in crypto the last 10 months, 11 months, around there. Yeah, I did not come in the last cycle just because I could not get in into crypto. Yeah, it was too hard to get into crypto. I was going around. By the way, I'm from Sydney, Australia, and those days the banks doesn't allow me to buy crypto. And the ATMs in crypto just doesn't work. Yeah, those days it's just too hard. But this time around it's much better. So yeah, it should be great because of adoption. Yeah, so let's have a look. Tron, TRX, I don't look at it too much. It looks like it's moving a bit recently, but it came back down. So yeah, you have to come back up. Again, not as interesting at this point. So I would love to see more action coming back up. Okay, perhaps this Jehan, not sure who this person is. I don't know who this Jehan is. Yeah, but that's it for now on the chat. Let's look at other coins. Let's see, Unibright, UBI, Elastos. Okay, UBI. Is that right? Unibright? Is that? Yeah. Which one is Unibright? Can anyone help out?
UBT.
Yeah, UBT, right? Yeah, it's not you and I. Is that right, Unibright? Okay, this is what I'm looking at. Not enough data. It looks great. Looks great. If you ask me, it's going up. I just don't know how far it will go up. If you ask me to force it, I would. Yeah, let me just move this out of the way. Oof, this is tough. But for a safe exit, yeah, if you just want to hold all the way, all right, around there. Yeah, the third push would be, I don't know where the third push might be, but yeah, it will definitely be going up to, $5. So, you might have to wait. So, but yeah, I don't hold any Unibright, but it does look like you hit $5. Not sure anything beyond that, but yeah. So that's on Unibright. Let's see, BNB. Yeah, I don't look at that coin as well. Let's look at Elastos, ELA. ELA. I think that's one of those coins that is pretty dull as well, Elastos. That's why we don't follow it too much. It's still down there. It hasn't come up to match its mountaintop, so it's not as exciting still. Yeah, it's got it does go back into almost January, right? It's February, just 1 month shy of, so but it's far away from the all-time high. So these are the coins that is not getting much attention from an investment point of view. So you really want, you need to follow the smart money where the money is going, and yeah, try not to jump into just because it sounds good on white paper or what people say, but you really got to look at the chart to help you out to decide whether the money is coming in to push up those coins. So that's important to look at it. BNB about to break all-time high. Yeah, I think BNB, the problem with that is it doesn't quite fit into my model, but it does look good. I mean, it does have this, it does go back into January 2018. That's where the bear yeah. So I think BNB will continue to push up, but I don't hold it. The forecast is much harder. Yeah, we can have a look 3 months later where things are much more clearer. So yeah, it'll definitely be pushing up. Well, I don't know how long the mainstream adoption will be. What's the adoption currently is? What's the rate of adoption? Is it 3%, 4% currently across the world? It's still really low. So adoption is a long way to go. But this round, things should be pushing up in terms of adoption, obviously. So we'll see. And because of that, adoption, right? This bull cycle may be a really big one, right? I mean, we are looking at potentially Bitcoin hitting, 3, 4, 500K. 500K might be a stretch, but it's definitely on the table. So you would see, yeah, Bitcoin pushing up like mad. Okay, how long do you think we have to exit for the tops? Typically you have many days to exit Moonshot 1, 2, and 3. First of all, we know the price ahead of time, and typically you have 2 or 3 days at least to get out. So it's you have a lot of time, yeah, to get out on Moonshot 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, you better get out because there'll be correction on all of these levels. And it does change from time to time depending on the price action. So yeah, that's why it's part of my job to keep track of it. All right, just checking in with the chat again. Let's see. Stock to flow is flawed. Hey, thanks, Prab. I'll have a look at that video. A lot of models that are, well, it's not flawed, it's just not good enough. And, there's no model that is absolutely perfect. Even my, Moonshot 1, 2, and 3 model, there are weaknesses, right? But so long as it's good enough, it's good enough, right? I mean, okay, if someone say that's a bad model, okay, what's a good model? What does it do? I mean, there's a saying that goes, the map is not the territory, right? And that's fine, right? We don't need a detailed map. What map, where are you going? What kind of map do you need to have, right? Just because someone comes out with a stock to flow model, now it's serving his purpose. Do you know what purpose that he's trying to serve? And do you know where do you want to get to? If his tool doesn't suit what your questions or your mission is, then don't use those tools. Go find other tools, right? And there's no point trying to discredit someone's tool if you don't even know what is it based on. That's what most of the people, people just say it doesn't work. Like, okay, do you really know why it doesn't work? Do you know the assumptions behind, right? And do you know why people coming out with those tools? You got to know, right? So, for example, recently a lot of people asked me about the market cap. Right, it's the same thing, right? I've argued why market cap doesn't work, at least from a crypto point of view, right? And then there's a better market cap measurement that people has come up with, right? So, for example, right, market cap, there is a realized market cap. So there are people who thought realized market cap is a much better measurement than the traditional market cap. So, and then you can read through and it does make sense. So there's a lot of tools out there, measurements that are based on certain assumptions. So you need to know what are those assumptions and then whether it serves your purpose. All right, there's probably thousands of tools out there, hundreds of indicators. It doesn't matter. The question is, do you know where you are going? Do you know what indicators you need to get you to where you need to go? That's the key thing you need to answer. I'm not doing all this for academic point, from an academic point of view. I'm doing this to make money, and any tools that can help me and it's good enough. It's good enough. So that's my point of view. All right, let's see how the market in general is doing. I would expect Glenn to push up, fingers crossed. But I would expect a sharp drop as well before it actually push up. So a lot of these coins will be interesting. It's operating at the edge now, except for Neo. Neo, I did say it's coming back down to the $17 range before it push up. We saw Digibyte just now, it's holding on. Yeah, it's just gonna do, I think, a higher low. That's what it is. You can see how strong Digibyte is, right? It pushed down. I mean, these people are just buying all the way up, right? So at this point, you know that the accumulation is coming in. So you just need to be prepared. Okay. Oh wow, we almost hit one. What time did we start? 2 hours. Jeez. Okay. I'll stop the recording and so that it doesn't